All right, welcome to today's video. I do want to talk today, again, it's pretty basic, but I feel like we've got to start from the foundation and kind of like work our way up. But what is endometriosis? And this is going to be obviously for people who are newer to the world of endometriosis. Maybe you're newly diagnosed, maybe you are just starting to look into it, or maybe you're a loved one of someone who is going through it and you want to learn all you can. So, what is endometriosis? Well, it is a disease of the body. It is mostly women that get it. Men can get it, it's just much more uncommon than women. And it is where a tissue that is similar to the lining of our uterus, the endometrium, is growing on the outside of our organs. So it's typically found on the ovaries, the uterus on the outside. It can be found on your intestines. It can be found on nerves. It can be found on your bladder. It can be found as high as your lungs or even your brain. It is not a reproductive disease. It is very painful periods. It is very heavy periods. It is very irregular periods. It is fatigue. It is insomnia. It is constipation. It is diarrhea. It is all these things that doctors don't teach us. Endometriosis is a full body disease. Your body is, when you have endometriosis and you're living with it, your body is constantly fighting itself to heal, yet it's getting worse. And so that is where a lot of the fatigue and the exhaustion come into play, because you are so exhausted. Your body is so tired from constantly being on. And a lot of people don't sleep properly because they're in a lot of pain, but that's a catch-22, because sleep is where our body is able to start repairing itself. Endometriosis is something that can be really hard to take control of if you don't know where you're going with it, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're being fully reliant on what doctors are telling you, is that there's not much you can do. You can take birth control, you can take this pill, you can take that pill, take painkillers, all of these things. It might mask your symptoms and you might think it's helping, but underneath it's actually making things worse. I didn't share this in my video where I talked about my journey with endo, which I will link in this video. But I was put on right before I had my hysterectomy and excision surgery. It's like a tongue twister. I was put on a drug called Norlatate. Now, Norlatate, it stopped my periods leading up to my hysterectomy. I was told, so the way it was explained to me was that, okay, so with endometriosis, it is fueled by estrogen. And a lot of us have excess estrogen, which is fueling our growth. But the majority of our growth happens during the time of the month where our bodies are signaling to have our period because we're not pregnant, and we have a spike in estrogen. And that is where a lot of our growth comes from. So Norlatate is a synthetic progesterone that would keep my levels of estrogen and progesterone constantly around the same. And I was told to be on that for the rest of my life until I hit menopause. Now, this was 2020, so this was 3 years ago at the time of this recording, like almost 3.5 years ago. I was only 31, turning 32, I believe. Can't math that fast in my head, but 31 turning 32. And, I've got a lot of years left to go before I hit menopause. But I believed him, and, I was like, okay, well, like this, it'll suppress the growth and it won't grow back as fast, because I knew excision surgery was not the answer. It wasn't going to end it forever, but it was going to give me some time. Because I was in a lot of pain, because I wasn't taking care of myself properly. I knew the importance of it, but it wasn't until after my surgery, which I'll get into a little bit more later, sometime after my surgery, where I actually started to realize that what I was doing was not okay. So anyways, I was on the drug. I was on it for 1.5 years, and I started experiencing menopausal-like symptoms. And I actually thought that my ovaries were failing, which can happen after hysterectomy, which again, I believe that it is due to hormonal imbalances within our body, and our body just can't keep up, so it shuts down. But I was experiencing menopausal-like symptoms. Like I was having night sweats, horrible night sweats. I couldn't sleep without bamboo pajamas on because it wicks away the moisture off your skin. And if I slept in any sort of cotton or anything, I would wake up multiple times in the night drenched, having to change. So the only pajamas I could sleep in for months was these bamboo pajamas, and I only had one pair. So I had, as gross as it sounds, I had to rewear it until it was laundry day because I couldn't do laundry every single day. And I was having hot flashes, like these horrendous hot flashes. I remember driving my oldest daughter to school, and it was like -30 out, and I had to like roll down the window because I was sweating, and I like ended up stripping this down to like my t-shirt, and I was just like drenched in sweat. It was horrible. And then there was other symptoms as well. So I had went to my family doctor at the time, and I had said that I was experiencing these, and she wanted to run some blood tests, obviously, to make sure that I wasn't going into early menopause. But I did ask her, I said, like I've been on this drug, Norlitate, and she's like, oh, I don't know what that is. So she actually had to Google it right in front of me. And it said right there that Norlitate you're not supposed to be on for longer than about a week at a time for people who don't have endometriosis. But when it's used in the treatment of endometriosis, no more than 9 months at a time without a break. That's it, 9 months. I was on it for double that time. I was on it for a year and a half. I was on this drug for. And I asked her, I said, do you think that this is what's causing my symptoms? Oh, no, definitely not. There's no way. And I'm like, okay, I guess. Deep down, I knew. I did tell her at the time, I said, I'd like to wean myself off of it regardless. And I knew that I couldn't just go off of it because a few weeks prior to this, I had forgot to take my pill for about 3 days. And I was experiencing horrible withdrawal symptoms. Like, it was bad. And within a half of when I realized I hadn't been taking my pill, I took it, and within half an hour, all those symptoms had gone away. So I knew that I had a dependency on this drug all of a sudden, as if it was like, crack or heroin. Not that I know what it's like to come off of that, but that's, honest to me, God, what it felt like that's the only way I can explain it. Like I was addicted to something. And so we were going to work towards weaning me off of it. Long story short, I won't get into all of it. Every time I went to go see her, it was just something else that she wanted to wait, something else that she wanted to test on. And I'm like, you know what, I'm done. And I ended up not getting the last round of blood work done that she wanted me to get done. And I ended up just weaning myself off of it over the course of a month. I went down to half, and then I went down to a quarter, and then I just stopped. And all of those menopausal symptoms that I experienced went away. Every single one of them. And I have not experienced one since. It's been 2 years. Pretty much, it was September 2 years ago that I stopped taking the medication, that I was done weaning myself off of it. And that doctor looked me straight in the eye and told me that there was absolutely no way that medication would cause that on me. And so this is what I mean. Medications are not the be all end all. They might mask your symptoms. They might make you think you're feeling better, but down the road, you're doing more harm to your body than good. Our bodies were not meant to ingest all of this medication, to have all of these things injected into us, to do all of these things. Our bodies were meant to fight these things on their own. And while, yes, I'm not saying that everything is bad, I believe that there's a time and a place for everything. I'm not anti-medication in any way, but I am anti-overloading your body with crap it doesn't need. And a lot of the problem with this disease is that our bodies are so overloaded with toxins. Our hormones are so wildly out of whack. We're not eating a healthy diet. Even when we think we are, we're still ingesting so many toxins. If you eat anything that's processed, that you can't grow yourself, if you're eating anything that has dyes or anything like that, what you're putting on your body even. I want you, if you are not someone who's already conscious about this, go look through your products. Go look through every single product that you use, whether that is shampoo, conditioner, body wash, lotion, makeup, hairspray, anything that goes in your hair. Look at the ingredients on there and tell me how many of those do you know what they are? And how many of those have synthetic fragrances in it? And the way to tell if it's synthetic is it will say fragrance slash, it says parfum or whatever, the French I'm assuming is what that is. If it's a natural fragrance, it'll be naturally fragranced from essential oils or something along those lines that will tell you that it's not a synthetic fragrance. But when it's synthetic, all it says is fragrance. Synthetic fragrances, our hormone disruptors. So you think, I actually just discovered this one the other day. I've been using the Live Clean products on my youngest. I was even using them for a while for myself, and I've been like trying out other things just to see what there is out there. I've been using Live Clean on my little one since she was a baby, thinking this is a clean product. Guess what I just discovered yesterday at the time of this recording? Fragrance. Synthetic fragrance in it. I've been putting that on my daughter's body for 6 years. 6 years I've been using that on her. That's gone. It is no longer in our house. Synthetic fragrances are one of the worst things that you can do. Perfumes, even just perfumes. If you're someone who loves perfumes, my oldest daughter loves perfumes, and that's one thing I'm trying to like start switching out for her, is finding more naturally made perfumes made from essential oils and stuff. Because she also has endometriosis, and she is also putting all the stuff on her body that is disrupting her. Now, I can give her all the information. I cannot force her to make the changes. She does not live with me full time. She is a teenager. She's going to be an adult in a few years who's going to be able to make all of her own decisions. I'm giving her the information, just like I want to do for you guys. I want to give you guys this information. You can choose to do with this what you will. You can choose to do absolutely nothing with it and keep doing whatever it is you're doing and never experience any relief, or you can choose to slowly start implementing things. With this disease, and with all the changes that you need to make in order to achieve a lifestyle that you can live with, that you don't have to constantly worry about the next time you have to cancel plans, it's a process. It's a marathon. It's not a race. It's going to take you a while. There's a lot of lifestyle changes and a lot of habits that need to get broken that come with dealing with this. And nobody can expect you to do it all in a night. I couldn't even do it in a night. It took me years of doing this. But I didn't have someone guiding me with all of the information that I needed. I had to spend that time looking for it on my own. So I am going to give you guys everything on a silver platter. And you can choose to take what you want to take at each moment and just do little bits at a time. If today is just looking through your products and starting to make changes, I mean, it's not going to kill you if you can't switch out all your products today or tomorrow. That's expensive. But maybe you can look, okay, do I really, really need this product? Like dry shampoo, I don't use dry shampoo. I don't use dry shampoo because it has butane and it has propane in it. Those should not be going on your body. Our skin is our biggest organ and it absorbs things so quickly. So if there's any changes that you're going to start making, yes, I will always tell you that your diet is going to be the number one, but whatever you're putting on your skin is also going to be right up there. So say today you decide I'm going to get rid of 2 things that I don't actually need to put on my body, but I will look for replacements if they are something that I feel I need in my life. You know, it's small steps like that. I haven't got to where I'm at because I threw everything in the garbage and went and spent hundreds of dollars trying to replace it. That's not attainable unless you have a ton of money in the bank, which I'm guessing you don't. For the majority of people, you're not going to be able to do that. Because here's the thing, a lot of us are in so much pain, we're missing work, which means less income in our pockets, which means the more we're struggling. We can't afford to be doing that, right? So just picking 1 or 2 things and making that switch. And maybe next month you pick 1 or 2 more things and you make that switch. And when it comes to food, maybe, okay, I've been buying a lot of granola bars. I'm going to stop buying granola bars because even though it's got all of these good things in it, it's still a processed food that still is going to have some sort of preservative, something that's no good. Maybe next month I'm going to start making my own bread because I really love to eat bread. And that's one thing that I will preach to you. Gluten is not the issue. Unless you are celiac or something like that, or you have gluten intolerances, even gluten intolerances, I'm not convinced it's the gluten. It is the toxins that are in the store-bought bread we're buying. It is the preservatives. It is the 500 ingredients that don't need to be in there. My bread is 6 ingredients. That's it. 6. That is it. It comes out. It is so soft. My daughter and I crush it out in like a week or less, my youngest. And she's been gluten intolerant since she was a baby. No issues with it. She has no side effects from it. With my endo, if I buy store-bought bread and I eat 1 slice every day for 2 or 3 days, that's not very much. I end up with a flare-up. Homemade bread, which I've got to make more, otherwise I'd show you guys. We just ate our last pieces this morning. I can eat it multiple times a day for a week straight. No issues, not a single issue. I know what's going into my bread, and I know what I'm ingesting. And I've had no issues, even with regular gluten flour. So that tells me it's not the gluten. It's the crap that's within the products that we're buying. And obviously we're not going to be able to avoid it all. Think of things like fruits and vegetables. They get sprayed with, pesticides and all of these things, and you can't win it all, but you can start somewhere. You can start. So I kind of got sidetracked. I do this a lot, about what endometriosis is. It's very painful. And if you are a loved one and trying to support someone who is living with endometriosis, you need to be compassionate. You need to be sympathetic. You need to be able to listen to what they're saying, and just support them. Ask, what do you need? What can I do for you? That's like when I don't have flare-ups very often, but when I do, when my husband says, go rest, I will take care of everything, that is so huge for me, especially because we do have kids and we have dogs and we have this lifestyle where we're very busy people. And it's really hard for me when I am having a flare up to just sit and relax, because those are usually the days where I have the most going on. And his support of take care of you, we'll get to this stuff later, it will be there. That is the world to me, and my brain being able to shut off and give my body the chance to rest and relax. So be supportive. In future videos, I am going to talk about some of the home things that I do, some of the things that I have invested in that are not very expensive. You can get them for fairly cheap, that are absolutely doing wonders for my life, for my body's healing process, for my body's ability to detoxify. And I'm going to start sharing those with you guys. Again, as always, please comment below. Tell me what you want to know. Tell me what you want to learn about. I'm going to just start with things that I wish I knew way back when I was still learning about this disease, when I was trying to heal myself, in the beginning. But again, it's been years for me, guys, and I've probably forgot a lot, and I know it will eventually come to me at some point. But do comment below. Let me know what you're struggling with, what you wish people would know, what you might need help with, so that I can create the content catered to you guys, so that you guys have the best success at getting yourself from down here to up here. I will see you guys in the next video.